Hello, Casey Wilson, owner of Roseville Strength and Conditioning and one of your hosts of the Do or Do Not podcast. And this is
Brad Erie for the second time. Yes. Hopefully you can hear us this time.
Yes, we filmed the first 10, 12 minutes with no sound, and Brad didn't notice the mute sign was on.
Look, neither did you. First of all,
you're the tech guy. I'm not the tech guy.
That would probably be our highest rated podcast if it was just silent.
It's like, we're like, why did we get 100?
Yeah, why did we get everyone really?
We should just do a mute one and take our shirts off. Oh, wait. I should take my shirt off.
Yeah, I was going to say one of us should, and one of us should just hide more. So let's make this 12 minutes that we wasted. Let's make that 3 minutes.
Yes,
give us that.
We're going to run through it because we don't want to talk about it again. So in general, the podcast has been a little inconsistent the last few months. The holidays gave a little inconsistency, but it's mostly Brad's schedule and his our schedules don't match.
We'll take the blame.
Don't match up very well, and so we plan to do it, and then something comes up, and Brad's out of town, or a kid's sick, or he's sick, or he has to fly somewhere or something. So, and I don't like to work on the weekends. And even though this isn't work, this is for fun, I have to drive to work on a weekend day. So it's like I'm not getting away from
How far away do you live again?
4 minutes. But I have to come in here to work and record, spend time in here. When I leave here on Friday afternoon, I'm like, I'm done. And I don't,
Yep.
Even if I come back to work out, it's for me.
Yeah.
Or for me and, friends or family or something. There's a reason why I would come back. So we have a set time that we're going to record podcasts now. 50
is what we want this year.
50 podcasts. So we're getting a little late start.
Season 3, we're going to go for 50.
We're going to go for 50. So season 3.
Yeah.
Last year was the first year we started filming in May. Look, we're not even in May yet.
I could change seasons whenever I want. All right.
We'll let Brad handle the seasons. He's not that great at handling the tech stuff, but we'll let him handle the seasons.
I'm not good at handling much.
Could have handled himself.
Let me just fly through our 12 minutes that we wasted. Casey is a grandfather. His baby can already squat 430 pounds. 425. We did the Spartan race where we learned that we're old. I did better than what I thought. I have 0 shoulders. Casey did really well, except he's getting old too. But he did the 10K and the 5K, both.
Yes, yeah.
We made fun of Sara, a.k.a. the machine. No, that was Matt for Sara not getting wet and choosing not to do any of the.
Matt. Sara and her husband chose not to do the dunk wall.
Yeah, we made fun of them. We talked about how good I was.
We mock because we care.
Yeah, and because we mock.
Yes, we're good at that.
Yeah, and that was about it. I mean, we really were kind of just telling about our run in Spartan, about how I have 0 shoulders and I just did penalty loops.
All right, so let's do it a little bit of justice. 10 people were on the Team No Mercy. Yeah. Everybody finished and did great. It was probably our fastest race because even though I stayed with the slowest people, the slowest person finished in 1 hour and 20, which it's slow, but in past years it's been
2 hours, over 2 hours.
Yeah, like people have taken 2 hours to do it,
yeah,
or 1 hour and 40 minutes or whatever. So great group. We flew through it, as far as other groups that I've had go out there, because what we do is we train for 2 months before the race.
Yep.
So whoever comes in and does it 2 months before the race, we just train Spartan specific.
Yeah.
So we do grip strength and we trail run, and we lift heavy odd objects, and we try to just work on what we need to improve on for the race. So that's why that's just how I program the training, because that's the main thing you do. Yeah. You lift the heavy object, which there's not that many of that. You carry buckets, you do the Atlas ball, you have to sandbag.
Grip strength was the best this year.
But grip strength
Yep.
is the most important thing. And trail running, because you're out running trail.
Yep.
So we do a lot of that for 2 months, and then we go out and do it. Team was great. We had great improvements in everybody's grip strength for the most part, except for Brad. Brad now can do about a fraction of what he could do during the actual training.
I know.
Brad was actually flirting with beating me at grip strength.
Yeah, giving me another week or two, I might have caught you.
He could almost dead hang as long as I've ever hung, so he was doing pretty good. But now he can barely do 20 seconds because his
barely
shoulders
raise
jacked
my
up.
arms above my head.
So, and Brad trained really hard running wise because he did a lot of penalty loops and he knew he was going to have to because his shoulders were jacked up, and he ran those penalty loops like a champ, except for 2 of them where he didn't run in the water on the rope climb penalty, and he didn't even attempt to do the penalty loop for the slip wall.
First of all,
I hope Spartan, like, we should tag him in this, and then they're gonna go back and disqualify your race. Like, go, this guy's out.
I know.
Except there was probably 150, 200 other people that skipped it too.
Oh, I watched dozens, and I'm like, why am I the only sucker gonna go run in this lake?
Because we do it the right way. Because we're Team No Mercy.
All right, we struck first.
We struck hard.
No mercy.
Yeah. So it was a fun race. I did the 10K the day before. I was a little lethargic. I wanted to do it in an hour and 15, hour and 20-ish, right in that zone, and it took me an hour and 33. I just started off the race. It was very cold, and when I went over the 4-foot walls, which is easy, I just kind of like jump up, throw your foot up, and you fly over the 4-foot wall. There was frost and ice, the icy frost on top of it. And I did the splits on the wall. Luckily, I'm very flexible, but it tweaked my groin a little bit. Not a lot, but when I took off running after that,
humble brag,
I felt I can do this. I can almost do the splits, but it was like I jumped up, put my foot down, and my foot went whoosh, like that, and I went down on the wall, almost slammed my balls on the wall. But I was able to get off of it, and I took off running, and I was running a little slow because I was a little tight down there, and my knee was a little tight. But then after a couple miles, it loosened up. But I didn't have a ton of energy that day.
Well, you know what?
But I still did it in an hour and 33. It wasn't bad. It's just and the other thing is I made a few tactical errors, and also the cold really messed with my hands. So I don't have, for some reason, I've never had great, like when it's cold, my hands get cold.
Yeah.
Any girlfriend I've ever had or my ex-wife knows that my hands get cold when it's cold. And so I wore gloves. They screwed me up a little bit on one of the obstacles, so it slowed me down. And then I didn't wear the gloves the rest of the race, but my hands were freezing, and doing the Olympus wall really messed my fingers up. So I didn't even attempt the stairway to Sparta. And I've done it before. Just not that hard.
Make it a 12K and do the penalty loops.
I had to. I did all the penalty loops, and I still finished, in an hour 33. But it wasn't my best race. But
look, next year
it was pretty good.
You're going to have me as a running partner, because that's going to be my New Year resolution.
Well, hey, we haven't got to that yet.
I'm just transitioning like a pro.
No. Hold on.
I'm doing the 10K with you.
Yes. Brad, that's one of his goals, and we're going to talk about goals in a second. Yeah. Going over the Spartan race, we had a great team, and Brad's going to put some photos up of the team, and we had a quality group that worked hard, and everybody made progress. I think only Sara and I were the only one that did the rope climb. But the goal was, right here, I brought a rope in this year from my house where I had it set up before, and we only practiced a couple times. We practiced it every workout for a while, and a lot of people got way better at it. I thought Matt was going to finish it. He was doing so good at the training, but he just struggled that day and couldn't do it. But Sara and I completed the rope climb.
Yep.
But I was hoping for 4 people to finish it, but only two people out of the group finished it. But a lot of people made great progress.
Oh yeah.
So those people will be up. Pictures will be up. Brad's going to post some and add them in later. We had a great time. If you ever want to do a Spartan race, we do them once a year. So this year, the training, it'll be in November this year, the NorCal race. The rumor is it's in Lake Berryessa, which is a new location for us. This year was a new location, but now they're doing it in Lake Berryessa. Will be another new location.
I like this.
And new locations are fun. So if it's at Lake Berryessa, we may get to go in a lake again.
Oh, can't wait.
And that was the best dunk wall I ever did, because it was the cleanest dunk wall. You could actually see the ground that you were walking on, as opposed to a muddy pile of you don't know what. But which really disappoints me that Sara didn't do it. Because her complaint is always, it's unsanitary water. It's just a bunch of dirt. And we have this perfect, beautiful lake. All you got to do is go out there. It's clear. You can see the bottom and dunk under the wall and go. Now, the water was in the 30s. It was cold.
It was cold.
There was a lot of shrinkage going on.
Oh, boy.
I thought I was whistling Dixie. I was like, it was high-pitched voice after that one. I came out of the water and I went, whoa! And my voice was way higher.
They got a good picture of me doing that. Yeah. Coming out of the water.
I'll send you the picture I want you to take where I'm all soaking wet. And I'm like,
I'm sure. I look at it every night. Just say it.
They're gonna think you're really playing to the West Hollywood crew and the San Francisco crew.
what I do in your recovery room is no business of yours.
Anyway, so Spartan Race is great. If you ever want to do one of those, we do it. We'll be starting in September of this year. If you're in the Sacramento, Roseville, Rockland, Placer County area. We have a lot of fun. The training is fun. We have a blast. We do a lot of running up in Auburn, in the Auburn rec area. So if you want to do that, that's great. If you don't, can I reevaluate what your goals are, because we're talking about goals right now. And so your goal,
before we transition there, real quick, slow down.
Oh man, you wanted to transition already.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say one of the most fun things about the Spartan training that we did was the closeness we developed as a group. Now, like some of the people who do the Spartan training aren't in your group classes, and we might not meet them, or I won't get to meet them.
Yeah, some of them are private clients.
But afterward, like I still talk to them. Like it's like making friends, because you go through the 2 months with you, and we do the Spartan race as a group. Like at the end, you're like, okay, we're all. Like
we all went through something together.
Yeah, we all accomplished something as a group together.
Yeah.
And so, like meeting Barbara and, all the other people that we've done. Like only time I get to see Sara is when we do these things, you know, and then, I just wanted to say, like, half the fun of this whole stuff is coming in with this group of people you're not very close with, watching everyone get better, than doing the race, and then having the, like the celebratory afterwards of like, we did it as a group, and then hanging out afterward. So, all right, now we can transition. I was trying to throw that into you.
All right. So maybe this year, a goal of yours should be to do a Spartan race. Brad, what is your goal this year?
I'm doing 10K. I'm going up a level. I did so well on the 5K. If you can get my shoulders to be semi-normal human-like,
that's another goal.
We're doing 10K. I know I could probably run the 12K, no problem. Like I can get my cardio up to that, no problem. But I want to do more of the obstacles. I want to be able to pull myself up over something. With modern day science and Mexican stem cells.
Yes. No. Modern science, stem cell therapy, and Mexican supplements.
Going to Guadalajara to like take.
We're teasing. We don't
unborn kittens.
We don't do Mexican supplements around here. There's no steroid use, but I am a big fan of actual supplementation. Yeah, like real legal supplements, and also stem cell therapy is. Yeah, I think that's what Brad needs to do for his shoulders, but he's going to be getting looked at by an orthopedic doctor. Week. But we're doing therapy to try to get his shoulders stronger and do what we can to get them as strong as we can.
You've already started, and I can have it's already tough for me to raise my arm.
Yes, and we're not doing hard stuff, but his strength and his his mobility and his shoulders are really bad right now. Yeah. So we're just doing stuff to help increase that.
But 10K
until we know exactly what's wrong. So that's Brad's goal, is a 10K and to get his shoulders stronger so he can do a lot of the obstacles.
With the dunk wall, Sara.
So
come on.
Yes, Sara and the dunk wall. It's very, very disappointing because it's one of the easiest things to do. You just have to go in the water and go underneath the wall. Yeah. And if it's in a lake, there's no excuse.
No excuse.
So we're gonna have to tag Sara in this. We ripped you in this podcast. We ripped Sara, but Sarah's a beast.
Luckily, she runs didn't hear the first 12 muted minutes.
Yeah,
oh my God, we really tore into her. I mean, the things you were calling her. Oh, I was blushing.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I was not saying anything rude about Sara, but we do give her a hard time.
I can't believe you said that about her.
She's capable of a lot, and so when she doesn't do things like that, I'm like, come on.
When you were calling out about what she drives and her low testosterone levels, I was shocked about that. I mean, thank God that
I didn't say anything about what she drives.
I mean, that was 11 minutes.
I'm not a fan of electric vehicles, but with that being said, I like the sound of a nice engine.
11 minutes, you just went straight anti-Sara about,
You're so full of shit.
Yeah.
But anyway, all we did say was Sara needs to go underneath the dunk wall. With that being said, whatever your goals for this upcoming year, I'd like to go over a little bit of what I talk about goals with
Yep.
people. And I give them, especially people that we have big goals, people that may come in the next, usually right around now. We're about mid-January.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people, this is when they start going, oh, I start getting more phone calls around now, not after the first year. People set New Year's resolutions for fitness. And great, I'm all for, you set a New Year's resolution. So you set a goal of what you want to do. And how many people really are serious about it?
5%.
And then there's another like 20 or 30% who puts a little bit of effort in the first few months of the year and then give up.
Yeah.
So if you're really serious about getting healthy, getting fit, and doing those things, there's some things you need to do to set goals. Number one, you need to set reasonable goals. Him doing a 10K, doing a Spartan Super is a reasonable goal. It's six plus miles, if he does all the obstacles, 7 if he has to do a bunch of penalty loops. It's not within the realm. I mean, the biggest problem we're going to have is just getting his shoulder strong enough to do certain obstacles and getting him ready for those things over the next 10, 11 months. So with that being said, it's a reasonable goal to have. If Brad said, I want to look like Brad Pitt,
that's my long-term goal.
That's not something I can do. It's an unreasonable goal. So I can get him down to having a 6-pack and being ripped, but I can't help him with the glasses and
the pale white skin, the balding hair,
no hair. But it's a reasonable goal to do a 10K and to get his shoulder stronger.
Yeah.
Right. So you got to set reasonable goals, and you got to set some. Man, I'm really like with the S's today. I'm like kind of. Am I drunk? Did I drink some whiskey in my cup?
You should have.
I'm like slurring S's.
Is the beanie too tight?
Maybe I need to grab some water. I keep it somewhat chilly in here. I have it at 65 right now. I turned it up from 64 to 65 because we were doing the podcast.
Yeah, 65 is a warm Irish day. Just saying.
Yes.
This is the weather of my people.
So I keep it in the low 60s in here whenever I'm training people during the winter.
This is why I love them.
So you got to set reasonable goals for getting there, and you got to set some time periods. You can't just go, well, my goal this year is to do this. Well, his goal is to do a 10, but we're going to have, he has to hit certain, criteria and numbers by that time. And plus I'm training him. So I'm helping him get to those goals, and I have those goals in mind myself. So I know I'm deciding what he's doing. So, and he has to do some work on his own. But if you're out there and you just go, I'm going to do this, I don't want to get a trainer, I don't want to get a gym, or I'm going to go get a gym membership, but I don't want a trainer, I'm going to go to classes, whatever you're going to do, you got to set some goals for yourself. You can't just randomly do it because you don't have the knowledge, the ability, and most people don't have the discipline. They have nobody holding them accountable, and they fail because of those reasons. That's why getting a trainer or getting a class community like a Spartan team like we did. There's some like CrossFit. There's a community there where people are holding each other accountable. Orange Theory, F45. These are all things where you have group environments. There's also big gyms have group classes. You develop friendships, and they can be an accountability buddy, whatever it is. But the best accountability buddy is somebody that knows what the hell they're doing, which is a trainer. And there's a lot of really good trainers out there, me included. So there's trainers everywhere in this country and everywhere in the world. And if you live in Roseville, definitely come see me. But anywhere else, just get a trainer, look up, try to figure out, number one, read some reviews on Yelp or on Google. Find somebody who people are saying good things about. Meet with them and work with that trainer to get to your goals. They're going to get you there, or at least start off so you have an idea of what you're doing and you have somebody holding you accountable for a while until you get in a rhythm where you feel you can do it yourself. Something along those lines. You have to have a time frame. So I always tell people to set a 3-month goal. All right, here's the goal for the next 3 months. Yes, our ultimate goal is to lose 60 pounds, but we're not going to lose it in the next 3 months, not in a healthy way, not if we're doing it the right way. If we're eating clean and healthy, but not starving ourselves, getting the right amount of calories, and we're working out, and we're talking 60 pounds of fat, not 60 pounds of water weight and stuff on the scale.
Look, right? How I win is how I win.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brad is like, he almost killed him. He almost passed out multiple times when we were doing the weight loss contest before, which we will talk about weight loss contests in a minute, or body change contests.
That's harder.
So when you're setting a goal, you want to have a long-term goal, but you got to set milestones, which are smaller goals to get you to that goal. Some people, I've told them to get pictures or make vision boards. So you take a piece of construction paper or a storyboard and you post pictures of what you want to look like. This is what I want. in 3 months. This is what I want in 6 months. And then Brad's going to put a picture of Brad Pitt, what he's going to look like in a year.
I have Brad Pitt and you shirtless sitting here at the table.
You don't have any pictures of me shirtless. I don't take
coming out of the water of the dunk
All
tank.
right. Well, that was close to shirtless.
Yeah,
see,
that's my.
I'm not, unless you see me at a lake, a river, a swimming pool during the summer.
All right.
I'm not somebody that walks around. I don't care if I have a ripped 6-pack or I have a keg at the time. I just don't. I don't walk around with my shirt off.
I don't walk around with my shirt off because I would explode in the sun. That's a living vampire.
That is a fact.
But my dream board is Jennifer Connelly. All right.
Not who you want to get with.
Well, look, everyone does their own. All right. Okay. Don't.
All right. Let's hear the dream board. I have
Brad Pitt, just his abs. And then I have you coming out from under the dunk wall. And that's it. That's what I want. That's my 2024.
All right, and insert a picture of me coming out of the dunk wall right here, because that's the closest you'll ever get to seeing me shirtless.
Oh, after this podcast in the YouTube, there will be a section of all the pictures of you coming out slow motion.
No, all right, I'm just post the one that
I'm just going to focus on it slowly for the ladies and some men, whatever we need to do.
On the other dunk wall. Like the day before, I never got a picture for that one. They didn't have any pictures for the dunk ball that day for me, at least. That guy was probably taking a break then.
I had like 20.
Yeah, I had like 4 or 5 on the day we did Team No Mercy. Yeah. So those New Year's goals are very important. They're very have to be realistic. Remember, you can't just go and work out and not change your diet. If you need to lose 20 pounds, 30 pounds, whatever it is, 100 pounds. You have to set realistic goals, but also you got to do something to execute on those realistic goals. You got to combine nutrition, healthy eating, the right amount of calories, and also with the workouts. The workouts help. They're going to get you fitter. I have clients that are getting better and fitter and aren't losing a lot of weight because the nutrition isn't good. You have to really focus on those things. And I can't be like with my clients. I have one client I see 4 hours a week. That's 4 hours they spend with me. That's the most clients are 2 or 3 days a week. So they're getting 2 or 3 hours a week with me. And, that's all I'm seeing them. And all the other time they got to be accountable, but they know they're coming in to see me. They know they're going to take measurements, or they know I'm going to ask, well, how did you do this weekend eating wise? And some of them just blow hot air up my ass because their body isn't changing and it should be changing.
And then some people saltine crackers and water.
Yeah,
and I've gained 1.5 pounds.
And he's serious about that too.
Yeah,
he is not the poster child for doing it the healthy way.
I learned my lesson. Okay.
Yeah,
I learned my lesson.
I hope that we have corrected his attitude towards these things. Yeah. No 10,000 calorie binges.
Look, that was a mistake. Living off 1,000 calories a day for a month was a mistake.
And this is what holding somebody accountable looks like. You call them out on their shit.
Yeah.
So I call people out on their shit all the time.
But you develop the relationship to be able to call them out.
That's right. And I'm not rude or disrespectful. I'm just
unless it's me.
The last month you've lost 1 pound and you've been working your ass off in here and getting better fitness wise, but you're not doing what it takes at home. You're eating crap. You're eating you're barely all the work you're doing and your regular basal metabolic rate. You barely lost the 1.5 pounds. Yeah. Now, could there be a factor of water weight? Oh, I ate Chinese food 2 days before I came in and I'm retaining a bunch of water. It's possible. I've had that happen with people. And then 2 or 3 days later, they come in and they're 3 or 4 pounds lighter. But in general, it's because they're not doing what they need to do in their home. So you got to combine the workouts and the fitness regimen with nutrition. You can't expect change to happen if you don't do that. But you can expect change to happen if you start eating clean, you start monitoring how many calories you're eating, what your macros are, your protein, your carbs, your fat, how much sodium you're taking into your diet. And are you eating processed foods or are you eating real foods? That's a lot of people love processed foods. It's a big problem because it becomes a problem with their accountability and staying disciplined because it's high in vegetable oil and sugars and these things. Our bodies start craving them and it's harder to stay away from them. You got to go. You know what I always recommend to people? Do a 24-hour water fast. Eat vitamins and do a 24-hour water fast. And it's not that hard to do is 24 hours. 48 and 72, it gets harder and harder to do those. But if you just you got to cleanse your system of this crap and really be disciplined for a while. People that do keto, great, do keto. I'm not anti a lot of the diets. I don't think very many of them are as effective long-term. But let's say you want to do keto. Great. The old Atkins diet, all those different things that reduce your carbs. It takes 2 or 3 weeks of brutality of just wanting to eat every carb in sight and not doing it to get to where your body starts losing that craving. That's the same with, and mostly that's the same way with sugar, because sugar is a carb. If you love sugar, like I love sweets, I can eat really healthy meals all day long, but then I will also like to eat a few thousand calories in sweets a day.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's my issue. I don't crave, you know, breads. I don't crave all those things. I like eating meat. I like eating vegetables and some fruits, but I crave peanut butter cups. I crave cookies, ice cream. I love that stuff. So when I'm doing really well, I'm not eating any sugar, and I lose weight at a fairly rapid pace when I cut that crap out.
Yeah.
So you have to know what your weaknesses are, and you also have to know that it's going to take 14 to 21 days of brutality where you're just suffering. Like where you're like, I walk into the kitchen 3 or 4 times to grab something that's not there because I haven't bought it, but I'm looking for something sweet.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm looking like, oh, I'm craving sugar so bad. I'm addicted to that until I can cleanse it out of my palate where I'm just not craving it anymore. And it takes me a couple weeks of just not eating sugar.
That's true.
And most people, it takes 14 to 21 days to kind of adjust to a new paradigm when it comes to eating or fitness or anything, you know, like your body starts adjusting to things if you do the same thing for too long.
But once you get there, it's so much easier to maintain it.
Oh,
like it's getting through that little that front thing of like, oh my God, I would literally gut this lady for, you know, a cookie. And then after that passes, then you're like, you know what? Like, this is really, I'm okay. Like you really, once you clear that hurdle, it really is much easier after that. And that's what I tell people too. It's so hard in the beginning, you know, because everyone asks me, how did I lose weight? And I'm like, oh, it's so hard in the beginning.
And Brad knows, because how much weight did you lose?
I've lost 85 pounds.
Okay. So Brad knows. He's speaking from experience.
Yep.
So there you go. So when it comes to goals, all those things matter. You got to set a big goal and then set smaller goals to get to that goal. You got to have some accountability, and you should have a knowledge base. If you worked out in high school or you worked with a trainer for a couple months and you're going to go to the gym and do it on your own, you got to have some type of accountability partner, somebody to hold you accountable. You know, and most of the time your level of knowledge is going to dissipate after a month of working out. And then you're going to go, man, I lost 11 pounds in the first month. I'm killing it. And then the second month you're doing the same stuff and your body will lose 1 pound. And you're like, what happened? Well, your body adjusted to what you were doing. You've got to constantly be moving forward. You know, it's adaptation. You got to constantly force your body to adapt to what you're doing. If you're doing the same stuff, so many people come in the first month, they go to a gym, they'll get on a treadmill and start walking, and they haven't done any of that. And so their body goes, wow, this is a huge change. And you're eating healthy, and all of a sudden you're dropping 10 pounds, and you think it's going to happen the second month, and it won't.
Yeah.
You got to push yourself, and you got to push your body to adapt. So those are very important things to think about when you're setting goals. You got to have the time frame, you got to have the accountability, you got to combine nutrition and workouts. You can't do one or the other and expect to have any significant change in your body.
You know what my second goal is?
What?
You have a certain belt that I want to dominate and wear.
All right, so
transition, folks. That's what that was. Although I'm still going to win it.
All right, so
in it to win it.
This is the Roseville Strength and Conditioning Championship belt.
Or soon to be the Brad Erie going out to.
So this thing was won last year by good old Mark.
I'm coming for you, Mark.
Now, Mark did a great job, but I want better this year. So I want a good 4 or 5% over a 2-month period, maybe 6. The record is 8.5% in a 2-month period.
All right. Well, you know what? My goal is to gain 10 pounds and then drink 10 pounds of water and then crush it. 1,200 calories a day.
So let's dial in about what my contest is about. It's about body composition change.
Know. That's so much harder than weight loss.
It's not going to help if he downs a bunch of food. No. He'll go up a little bit in body fat percentage over, like say he took the last 2 months to gorge out. His body fat percentage would go up a little bit, but you can't like drink a gallon of water before the measurement, because I'm doing body fat testing on everybody. I just do a 3-site test. on everybody, and then we'll see how it goes from there. Like,
Yeah.
So we do that February 1st and 2nd. We take your weight also, but we take the body fat percentage with calipers. And then 2 months from now, not 2 months, 2 months after the contest start, April 1st and 2nd, we do our final measurements. And the person who has changed for the better, their body fat percentage modes, and I put in for the better.
Yeah,
because people go, I'm going to gain 5% body fat and I'll win it. And no, it has to be for the better.
Easy.
And that has to come from a combination of losing body fat or gaining muscle, or a combination of them both. So I've had thin clients win the contest before, because they'll put on, 1.5 pounds of muscle, they'll lose 5 or 6 pounds of fat, and all of a sudden they're winning the contest. And there's people that lost way more pounds than they did.
Mm-hmm.
Like the year I had somebody do that, where I think they actually gained 1.75 pounds of muscle in 2 months, and they lost I want to say 7 or 8. It was a long time ago. It was probably 15 years ago.
I'm going to 1% body fat.
But there was people that lost 20 pounds of fat, but their percentage didn't equal what his percentage equaled. So there's where the difference is you got to do. It really helps if you're working out hard and doing the nutrition. You can't just lose a bunch of weight. A lot of contests, they'll divide, how many pounds you lost to your weight, but it still benefits too much, in my opinion, the person who is drinking 5 gallons of water before they come in, and they're totally and then 4 days later, I lost 10 pounds. No, you lost water weight, so that's not fair. That's why we do the caliper test. It's harder to cheat on. And then also, people aren't cheating. Most of my clients coming in are not cheating. They're just coming in to do it. A lot of them have already lost 2 or 3 pounds this month. And I tell them, I go, you have actually a better chance to win the contest, because you have started your body's engine of losing weight and changing. You don't want to try to go slow and gain weight and come in and do it. It's a joke that people make, but you really don't. It doesn't work. So we pinch it those 2 times, and the person who changes the most wins the contest. They win a month of free training at whatever level they're currently doing. So if you're Brad's doing 2 times a week, he gets 8 free sessions, and he gets the picture with the championship belt,
shirtless,
if he wants. It can be shirtless, and it goes up in the case next to the championship belt for a whole year. So Mark's is still up there until April.
Can I wear the belt out to eat?
No.
Like to the donkey? Can I wear it to some of the bars?
No.
Can I wear it to get catcalled?
Every time you come in and train or do group, you can show it off, but you can't wear it, because I don't want it to get damaged, while you're lifting weights and slam into it, because your shoulders are so wobbly.
Can I wear it with a G-string? I mean,
on the day we take pictures, you can wear whatever.
All right, I just want to cruise downtown Roseville.
No, not in a G-string, but I don't need you getting arrested with my belt. But when you're in here, however you want to take pictures, and then you can post. If you win, you can post them on the podcast too. I don't care. So that's another thing. We will talk about your victory on the podcast. And there's a lot of people competitive that really want to win it this year. I've had some people go, I'm going to win this year. I'm tired of coming in 3rd, 4th, 5th place.
Look, you know what? Coming in 2nd isn't that, it's not bad. Yeah. To me. I mean, what can I say?
Brad won a different type of contest. It was during COVID year, I think.
Yeah.
It was, and it was a straight 1 month. It wasn't 2 months. It's the only time I've ever done this. Was just a 1 month contest.
Yep.
And everybody competed against me.
Yep.
So it was you take your body, how many ever pounds you lose divided by your body weight gives you a percentage. And I came in 2nd. Anyone who beat me got, I don't know what it was, 2 free sessions. Any one of my clients that beat me in the weight loss contest. And then the champion got $100. And
not only did I win that contest, I set the Casey Wilson record for the most weight
pounds lost in 1 month. Yep.
I crushed it. I was 26
pounds.
Something like that.
I lost 16 pounds that month, and I'm not overweight or out of shape.
No,
I was a little pudgy at the time, so I just really buckled down. And the percentage was very close between Brad and I.
Yeah.
And I told him, I go, because he saw me in here running with the sweatsuit.
I know. I came in. I'm like, you son of a bitch.
I know, the day I was doing my last workout right before his training session, and I had a sweater
Yeah.
on and stuff.
You
and
had
I
the
was like,
hood pulled over
I had
your
the
head.
hood pulled over. I was like, I
I know what you're
training.
doing, you son of a bitch.
So
You're trying to steal my glory.
So I dropped, I think, 3 pounds that morning just on water weight I rinsed out of my body. But, with that being said, I had planned on doing that too. But I actually I think I had lost 13 pounds legitly, and then I dropped 3 pounds of water weight that day. But that's why you can cheat those pound tests. Yeah. That's why we take the pinch for our tests. So set goals, do a Spartan race this year along with Brad and I for the team. Hey, if you have goals, why don't you post them like on the comment section? This is my goal. And then we can keep track of your goal. We'll ask you questions if we see you in the comment section.
Just post any comment. We just want to know someone out there other than my mom.
We have some watchers, and some of them making comments like, are you guys not doing podcasts anymore? Because we had such a long gap. I had 2 people ask me, it's like, look, I haven't seen a new podcast from you in a while.
We're back, bro.
Yeah, we're going to be consistent this year. That's the other thing we talked about. Brad has gotten his life together. So, let's not lie to the public, but we're going to be doing the podcast at the same time every week, and we've set a time. So hopefully it'll be more consistent.
We're committed.
And if you want to do my weight loss, my body change contest,
if you want to lose,
you have to train 1 day a week with me in here, or you have to do online training with me. So anyone in the country could do it.
Yeah.
But they have to do the online training, and you have to get measured by me. So you'd have to be in town on February 1st or 2nd.
Yeah.
And April 1st or 2nd. So if somebody wants to do it, great. If you're an online client, you got to do it. But those measurements are like, I have to do the measurements myself. I can't be like loaning them out to somebody else, because then other people will complain. It all has to be uniformed.
Take my word. I lost 38% body fat. Okay. Because I'm just going to have someone else do it.
Yes. So those are the only real rules, is you got to train 1 day a week with me, and I have to take your starting and your ending measurements, and they have to be on one of those 2 days, February 1st and 2nd and April 1st and 2nd. If you don't, you can actually have your final measurements taken 2 days earlier, 3 days earlier if you want to, because you're just losing time.
Yeah.
If you're going out of town or people go on vacation or something, but you have to have them done those days. You got to train with me. And that's the only real rules of it. You have to train 1 day a week. That's it.
So Mark, Matt, Sarah, Barbara, who else? I mean, I'm calling you all out. All of you.
There'll be a new champion this year. There's no defending champion. He is no longer training.
All right. Well, good. 1 down.
So
welcome to second world.
All right.
In it to win it.
That's our first podcast of the new year. And
hopefully you heard
more coming out rapidly.
I can't believe that you were so mean to Sarah. Those 12 minutes was just brutal.
Sarah's one of my favorite people.
Brutal.
So she's great. Her husband Jeremy is.
He came out. He didn't
even train for the Spartan race and came out and did it.
You know what? He was awful dry too. I wonder how that was.
But they were both very dry at the end of the race. So nod, wink.
I'm just saying.
But it was a great end of the year, start of the new year. I'm happy to be a granddad, and set your goals, stick to them. If you need any help, my website is right there. You can email me or call me, and I will be glad to talk with you specifically about your goals and help you set those goals and possibly take measurements for you and possibly train you.
All right,
that's what I do.
We need to wrap this up because I'm itching to talk about Star Wars.
All right. That's it for today.
We're going to come back with the same shirts, but different day. Really.